Hey guys, my name is Carson, and today I wanted to come here with you to kind of just tell you why you should become a commercial pilot. Not just a commercial pilot, but a pilot in general. So, I'll give you a little bit of background on how I kind of got started with this before I go into it. So, back in middle school, we had a couple programs at my school where we would go to ground school for 8 weeks, and then on the last week, we got to go up and fly. Did that for 2 years, and I decided, hey, this is really cool, and this would be really awesome to get paid to do this. So, a couple years go by. Now I've been training for about 2 years now, and I finally got my commercial license. And there's actually a lot of really cool opportunities I have to do with this. So when I got started, obviously I was a student pilot. Student pilots are you can start training when you're 14. Student pilot, you are just training to get your to get your private pilot license. And when you're doing that, you get to do a couple solos, so it's kind of fun. You get to just do it all by yourself. Then once you get your student pilot, or once you finish your student training, you can apply for your private pilot. Then your private pilot, once you get that, you have a couple of things you can do. You can be you can just fly around the world, but you just can't get paid for anything like that. And you can take passengers with you. Now this is really cool, but that's not really that's kind of just like one of the starters. Then after you do that, you can get your instrument rating, which allows you to fly into the clouds. Now a lot of the airlines and jobs that hire people on require you to have that. That way, it's just an additional rating that just shows you're capable of doing more things, and it's just better for safety. Then after that, you can apply for your commercial license. Now you don't have to apply for your instrument rating to get your commercial license. You can do either or, but you do have a couple of restrictions if you don't have your instrument rating. Now, if you are just a commercial pilot without an instrument rating, then you are restricted to flights of up to 50 nautical miles during the day from point A to point B, and then during the night you cannot get fly passengers at all. Now, if you have your instrument rating, all those limitations do go away. You're able to fly anywhere and get compensated. Now, a couple of the jobs that do come with becoming a commercial pilot is a little bit different than an airline pilot. Now, an airline pilot, you have to have a minimum of 1,500 hours to get your ATP. Now, ATP stands for Airline Transport Pilot License. So, a lot of the ways people build their hours are things such as flight instructing, banner towing, crop dusting, things like that. I actually have the FAR-AIM here with me today, and we can read off a couple of these. So, like I said, there's ferry training or training flights. There's aerial work, like I said, crop dusting, seeding, spraying, and bird chasing. A lot of those crop dusters get paid pretty well because it's a high risk, high reward job. You're flying pretty close to the ground, so if something is to happen, then there's not really a good chance that you do come out of that. With that being said, that's why they are paid pretty good. Banner towing, aerophotography survey, firefighting. If you do have your helicopter ratings as well, you can do helicopterations. There's also pipeline patrol or sightseeing flights. You could also get your hot air balloon commercial license and do that. That's really cool. Just things like that. But the fastest way to do that is to get your 200 or 1,500 hours is becoming a flight instructor, because the max you can fly during a day is 8 hours a day, and if you do that for a little over 6 to 8 months, then you can get your 1,500 hours pretty quickly. Now, another cool thing with pilots in general versus another job, like such as a doctor. Now, doctors, they have to go to school for quite a while in order to get that, in order to get where they want to be, like actual doctor position. But with aviation, you can get your training done really fast. Within a little under a year, year and a half, you can start becoming a CFI, which is really cool. And then after you get that done, then you can move on to the airlines. Now, the airlines, which is really cool, that's whenever you get the big money. Now, of course, you don't start off with the big airlines. You start with smaller airlines such as Envoy, SkyWest, things like that. Now, these smaller companies, yes, they are airlines, but they have feeders into the bigger airlines. So you fly with them for a little bit, and then you get to move on to the bigger airlines. Now that's when you start making the big money. Another cool thing is that you have such an amazing view when you're up there. So you get to travel the world, you get to see new places, you get to land at different airports you've never been to before. And sometimes whenever you do that, you say the weather rains you out, you're stuck there for a while, but you're in a place you've never been before. So you get to go visit a completely new country, which is really cool. And yeah, I mean, there's so many different options you can have with becoming a commercial pilot and just a pilot in general. So many different jobs you can do. There's also cargo. You can fly cargo to places such as there's FedEx pilots are paid pretty well because they fly mail from different airports, and then that's how we get some of our mail, first day shipping and things like that. The pilots out there do a pretty good job, and they get paid pretty well. And yeah, so that was pretty much what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, was just over some of the opportunities that come with being a pilot, as well as the requirements to get there. And if you could take just one thing away from this, I would just hope you see that how amazing it is to just be able to fly, and just see my passion for it. And I hope you would be inspired and maybe want to start your career in aviation. Yeah.